Well, hello, Robert. This is Dave from ChiefTutor.com. Thanks for contacting us. Looks like you had a little problem with your plan, and I downloaded it here, and I'm looking at the PDF you sent me, which is great. And you're trying to correct the roof planes here. It looks like they're not building correctly on your plan. So yeah, we can help that with no problem. Say here you want to get ridge should be over here, this ridge should be over here, this cricket needs fixing, and equal lengths here and there. Okay, yeah, we can do that for you. Let's take a look. So I have your plan open here, and the first thing I want to do is set my layer set to the way I want for a roof set. So I come over here to my drop down. These are my different layer sets that I can choose from. Now these are set by your program because you started this plan in your program, and I see you don't have a roof plan. So I'm just going to build one real quick. So I'm going to go over here to my active layer displays, which is the same thing as this. Same thing as hitting over here, your active layer displays. And I'm just going to copy this set that you already have, and I'm going to rename it. I can call this the roof plan set. I click OK. And it jumps into my roof plan set, which is great. I click OK. Now I want to set it to my roof plan set, and I want to modify my roof plan set. So I am going to select all, turn my displays on, which turns everything on in the plan, and then simply turn it off. I'm going to go to, let's say like a dark gray for all the colors. And the line weight, I want them all to be 1. Okay, there we go. Now I just click in one of the areas and it shows me the changes on all of them. Now I do want to turn on certain things. I want to turn on doors, which you have done, and you locked it, I noticed. And I'm going to go down to the bottom here and you get the normal and the railings on, and they're locked, and the windows on, and they're locked. And again, for those people who don't understand what's going on, it's basically I made it so I can't touch the walls, roofs, windows, or doors. And the reason why I want to do that is because so as I'm designing the roof, I don't have to mess around and accidentally click on a door or a window. So let's go up here to our roof tabs, roof planes. I'm going to turn them on. And I'm going to make that special. I'm going to make it like a blue color. And I'm going to make it maybe 30 thick, which is nice, as a line weight. And I'm going to choose the line to be a solid line. And I'm going to go down here to baseline polylines. We'll turn that on. Oh, excuse me, the roof baseline polylines probably be better. No, you don't have any of those. Okay, so you have the roof baseline, so I'll turn those on. Labels, we'll turn those on and we'll make them black. And we might even beef that up to like 10 or something. And then the rest, I don't really need on. I think we could just leave as is what we got. Okay, so let's take a look at the plan the way you have. If I were to select this roof plane, I would notice that my pitch here that you have set is 2 7/8. And that was your main problem for getting two different ridge heights. Because everything else is set to 6. And it looked like from your picture, your house picture, because I went down through here and I looked, yeah, you look like you got either a 5/12 or 6/12 pitch there. We'll just assume it's 6. We'll use this as an example. And basically, that's what the entire house looks like it's built to, except for the one roof over the front porch. Okay, so let's make sure that we have 6 on all of them in order for it to look right and work right. You even have 4 over here. I see 4 1/4 and 4. So these all have to match in order for it to look right as well as work right. One other thing I want to turn on is I'm going to come up here to my ceiling break lines. And I'm going to make those red so they can kind of stand out. And what that does is that tells us right away that this roof that you have here is breaking through this wall at this angle and it's cutting it up. So let's take a cross section to explain. If I take my cross section elevation tool and I zoom in here and I'm holding down my left mouse button, I'm going to drag towards that outer wall. I can see how the roof comes up like this and comes back down and then cuts through the house. Now I don't know if that's your intention, if that's what you want to do, because I don't know the plan and the details, but I'm going to assume you do want to actually land on the plate height like it does over here. So that's one more thing we can pay attention to and fix if we have that turned on while we're designing. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to delete this roof, okay? Let's get this party started. We'll get rid of the roof that makes no sense. Also come in here, and I know you're trying to do a cricket around the chimney. Couple of things. One, I would never do a chimney with walls. I don't know, some people do, and I think I used to when I first started using Cheif. It seemed to make sense because you can raise the height and lower. I would just use the firebox tool or build your own polyline solid or something. But let's take a look at this cricket. So this cricket has two different heights. One's here, and then The other one is over here. So if they match and they were going at the same pitch, then they could be corrected a little bit easier. So why don't we assume that? We'll take this 95 and an eighth. I'm going to go ahead and copy it, and it's at a 6-inch pitch. And I'm going to double click this one. I'm going to lock my 6-inch pitch and paste my 95 and an eighth. And therefore, the bottom of this roof and the bottom of that roof kind of combine and make sense. Then if I hit this edge and I use my conjoin tool, which is also 2 on the keyboard, I can touch this edge and it can straighten that connection up. Now notice how this piece is falling out a lot further than that one. That's okay. It's going to be corrected with the right roof plane once we put the right roof plane on. So we want to make sure we get all the base roof plane heights the same in order for it to work right. So I'm going to go into this one, which looks like you've drawn this one well. This baseline polyline that is pulling through, actually the roof, they call it the roof baseline. That's telling us that this roof is perfectly set right onto that wall and it's cutting through just the way it's supposed to. So if I double click this, I can see you're set to 97 and 8. That's kind of the magic number now for all the roofs to be set at. So I double click this one. Sure enough, it's already set that way, which is good. Now let's make our new roof plane. So I'm going to go to my roof tools. I'm going to double click it first and check out my pitch and make sure it's the same as all the other ones, which in this case it is. So then I'm going to drag across this wall, let go, and move this direction in order for my roof plane to go up, and left click one time. Okay, now I've created my roof plane. I'm going to hit spacebar so I can get back to my selection tool. I'm going to double click my roof plane, and I'm going to see that it is too set to 97/8, which is perfect. Okay, so let's start the show. So I'm going to grab that in, hit number 2 on the keyboard, and hit that in. So those two line up. I'm going to grab him out and pull him out to about there. Then I'm going to grab this guy and I'm going to pull him all the way over to here. Now, I want to make sure that these two pieces of roof, these gable roofs, are set at the same height as this guy here. So I'm going to select this one, open it up, and see that it's set to 4.5. So I'm going to change that to 6. I'm going to lock the pitch, and I'm going to put in here, I'm going to paste in that 97 and 8 to make sure everything lines up correctly. We'll do the same thing here. We're going to change this to a 6 pitch, I'm going to lock it, and paste that right like that. Therefore, these two pieces are much more compatible and they're building at the right height. I'm going to pull that edge back, hit number 2 on the keyboard and select that. So those two are coming together very nicely. I can even center it to the window by selecting them both. I can shift select both of them and I can use that centering tool. I can center up on my window so it adjusts it just right. Okay, so now let's take a quick view of what we got here. And so far so good. I built up those two pieces of roof. I'm going to go to adjust sunlight and have the sunlight follow me. So I got that good. It's going through. See how they're connecting beautifully there. So that's all working. Then over here it's starting to connect as well. Much nicer. Now this part of the roof here has to change a different height than this one over here because it wants to attach to these new roof planes that are over here. So what I'm saying is, before I can attach this side to that side, I'm going to have to cut this side. So I'm going to hit a number 3 to cut. I'm going to cut my roof plane right there. And I'm going to drag this guy up a little bit. And now with that edge selected, I'm going to hit 2 and hit this edge. So that way those two edges come together. I want to line up the ends over there. And I've already lined up the ends over there. And so now if we take a look, we can see that we've got the roof planes now acting exactly how we want them to act, which is much better. So move on around, everything's looking good. All right, let's fix this cricket and then let's double check the cutout over here. So we're going to cut this roof plane first. I'm going to use the 3 tool to cut. I'm going to cut more inside of the wall. Cut this guy just inside the wall like that. Cut one more time in here and pull that guy back. Now I'm going to hit 3, cut it again because I want it to come in a little, nice and straight. Make sure all your plane lines are straight when you're doing this thing because it could wreak havoc if it goes at an angle. And now I can take this edge, hit 2 and select this edge, hit that edge, hit 2 and select that edge. And now what I've done is I've basically cut out for the what we call a little nook area, basically. So now we can see that the roof is working correctly around the nook area. Everything's attached. So let's go to this guy now. I'm going to hit 3 to cut it here, hit 3 to cut it there. I'm going to pull it back to here. And again, I'm going to try to get in just as close as I can. And one more 3 cut right about here because I want to attach the cricket that you're trying to do. Okay, so let's take a look and see how close that cricket is. Ah, it's pretty far down. Okay, so we need to lift it up a bit before it could touch these corners appropriately. So I'm going to select this one, shift select that one, go over to my transform replicate, and I'm just going to raise it, I don't know, 2 feet. And now it looks like I'm too high. I want to try to get it close to that point right there. So I'm going to go down 6 inches. It's getting closer. And why don't I start attaching and see how that looks. So I'm going to select this edge, hit number 2 on the keyboard, and hit that edge. And then I'm going to kind of do the same over here. I'm going to come in here, select this edge, hit 2 on the keyboard, and select that edge. Yeah, it's working pretty good. So there's the cricket. It's sticking out a little bit, as you can see, for the fireplace. So I want to go down just a little bit more now. So I'm going to select both those edges, transform replicate, and we'll go down another 6 inches. All right. Now this one had a double cut in it, so I'm going to try to fix that double cut by just coming straight to here. And it might be better doing this in the 2D. What I'm trying to do is get this edge to be all straight. Yeah, see, because some of these edges are getting off. So there we go. Now I'm going to hit here, hit number 2, hit there. Now we're getting better. Hit this edge. Oh, I'm getting my camera, so I'm going to turn my camera off. Hit this edge, hit number 2, and hit that. And see how it's coming in closer and just behind the fireplace like we like. So that could get a little tricky. You just want to go slow and raise it up and down until you get the cricket to perform just the way you want it to perform. And it looks like we can even center it a little bit differently. These two could go over right about there. And again, let's just do that one last time. We'll reattach the roofs. That one to that one, that one to that one, and there. That looks like a nice hard cricket right behind there. Looks like we got our bay window. We definitely got our angles on our roofs, and we have solved our situation. So Bob, that's been playing with roofs here at CheifTutor.com. Again, you are a member, a prime member of Cheif Tutor, so that means you don't have to pay a dime for this video. I hope you learned something new. I will email this plan on back to you. I used Cheif Architect X8. If you are not using X8, unfortunately you will not be able to open the plan, but hopefully you are using X8 and all is well in the universe. Well, thanks so much again for watching. Hopefully this will solve a lot of questions for you and answer a lot of questions for you. Solve a lot of answers. That didn't make no sense.